Hi, I'm Mike Reynolds, a senior reporter covering the media industry with S&P Global Market Intelligence, Tech, Media, and Telecom News Team. Welcome to MediaTalk, a podcast hosted by S&P Global, wherein the news and research staff explore issues in the ever-evolving media landscape. Today, I'm joined by David Gandler, the co-founder and CEO of Fubo, the streaming aggregator and distributor whose tagline is the leading sports-first live TV streaming platform. In North America, the company finished the second quarter with more than 1.4 million paid subscribers and has another 400,000 in France and Spain, and it's continuing on its path to profitability. Fubo has also been making headlines of late with its legal battle against Venu, intercepting the sports-oriented streaming JV of the Walt Disney Company, Fox Corp, and Warner Brothers Discovery. How are we doing today, David?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining Media Talk. Let's do it. As streaming has emerged over the years, viewing has migrated from phones and laptops to the living room or elsewhere in the house. What percentage of Fubo watching takes place on the big screen these days, David?
Right now, as a streaming service, 93% of our viewers on Fubo watch on connected devices. That's the main form of viewership on the platform, despite the fact that it's a multi-platform service.
And big screen viewing is important for brands and their creative messaging, right?
Yeah, it's very important. One, I think if you look at just what iSpot reports, 62% of ad impressions served on Fubo reached incremental households that are unreachable on linear TV. And then the second piece is that ads on Fubo outperform the average attention of other ads across cable, CTV, and fast apps, and that's according to TVision. So big screen, obviously very important. People are very engaged and immersed into the programming.
All right. Fubo started as a soccer-oriented service and sports is key, but can you give us a sense, David, for how things break down? Sports is what percentage of viewing and the other genres that you offer comprise X?
Yeah, so we break it down into sort of three buckets. One, sports, the second, sort of news, and third is entertainment. And entertainment includes both movies, TV shows, scripted, unscripted, et cetera. I would say seasonally adjusted, you're going to see more viewership around sports in the fall, given the amount of sports programming, NFL, college football, et cetera. But I think on average throughout the year, I would say about 45 to 50% of viewing is sports. And then the other two, entertainment and news, also comprise of about 50%. And then within the news and entertainment side, it really depends on the news cycle. So if it's a heavy news cycle, you'll see news slightly higher than that. It can get as high as about 25 to 27%.
Yeah, I would assume that's at this time of year or in this
Yep,
cycle as it goes. Yeah.
that's correct.
All right. From a commercial perspective, you guys have standard 30 and 15-second spots, but Fubo also offers a number of advanced advertising formats.
Yeah, we've been pushing in that direction for the last, I would say, 12 to 14 months. We've added interactive ads. We've also released pause ads and enhanced banner units for better targeting. And then most recently, I'm not sure if it was in the news, but we launched this triple play, which was a sponsored carousel that was brought to you by Walmart. It was a major new piece of real estate that we were offering up, which includes this video carousel that's branded, allows them to also, the advertiser, to choose the video programming they want that aligns with whatever their message is or whatever sort of target audience they're looking for. And then they can also seamlessly integrate any video or videos that relate to their brand as it relates to the overall campaign and that video carousel. So we're continuing to innovate on that front. And I think one of the other key elements of that is all of these new components will have data targeting capabilities.
So you have Walmart on board now in that capacity, others waiting to get in line?
Yeah, we just started pushing this out. This was not part of the playbook in past years. So this is a new area. And we've seen how Roku has taken advantage of display ads, and we've started to push in that direction as well. And we are seeing some good traction there.
Good deal. In addition to serving as a content aggregator and distributor, Fubo is in the fast channel game. I think you guys have a number of these offerings at this point, David.
Yeah, I think the key offering is our Fubo Sports Network, which is around, I think we launched it in either 2018 or 2019. And it was really about us attempting to deliver a free ad supported sports network that has really grown. I think as of the last quarter, it might have been even achieved profitability. Obviously, we don't break that out in earnings because it's still very small, but we've added a lot of MMA and other sort of niche sports programming. There's some soccer programming on it as well, and it's one of the top performing fast channels from my understanding. across a number of key platforms.
So it's not only within Fubo, but other platforms are carrying the service.
Yes, I don't want to say it's fully distributed. I don't know, where exactly it's on, but obviously it's on the key platforms like Amazon and Roku, the Zumos of the world and others. We're continuing to look for ways to further distribute that because it is performing well, and we think we can really grow that business nicely.
All right. I think Fubo finished its second quarter with 1.45 million subs in North America. I know you're not reporting Q3 results until next month. Can you give us a sense directionally where things are going? And I think, as you alluded to, a lot of viewing in the fourth quarter with football and baseball playoffs and the like. So I'm assuming the third and fourth quarters are your prime acquisition periods.
Yes, that is correct. We typically draw most of our subscribers in Q3 and Q4. There's a few sports that begin, obviously, as I said, the college football season, as well as the NFL. We have all the different soccer leagues that also start in the fall. And then as you get into October, you start to see a lot of the local regional sports start to kick in because the start of the NHL season in October, as well as the NBA. Further from that, you get into sort of late in the year, in December, bowl games and some other sort of key sports events. Yeah, it's a big time for us. We feel pretty good about it. If you look historically, we've always grown most of our subs in the back half of the year, and I don't suspect that would change in 2024.
Let's turn to the 800-pound gorilla, or is it 1,200-pound legal gorilla in the world?
Yeah, my
All
favorite
right.
topic.
So, as I alluded to earlier, I think Fubo started as a soccer-oriented service in 2015. Then you wanted to broaden it out to add other sports, but it couldn't happen because of the pay TV industry's long-time bundling practices, where you have to add other networks in order to get maybe the sports. In the case of Disney networks, in order to get ESPN Suite, the Fox channels to get at the broadcast network, Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2, or whether it's Cartoon Network or Cartoon Classic to gain access to TNT and TBS. If you could talk about the impact of the bundling on Fubo's business and its monthly subscription fees, David.
Yeah, the JV is just one example of how we believe these companies have blocked and stolen our playbook. As you said, we started this back in 2015, and we've been blocked at every turn from being able to offer a product we thought that would resonate with consumers. Obviously, these three large media companies, which control, call it 65% or more of broadcast programming, decided to launch a similar service. And we filed an antitrust lawsuit against Venu Sports, but I think that's just one piece of it. The judge, I believe, agreed with us because she granted us the preliminary injunction. And I believe she said we would be successful in the merits of our claim, which is why she did grant the injunction. So we feel pretty good about our position, but there's a much deeper problem here. I would say that it is historical in the sense that sports customers have been forced to pay for unwanted entertainment programming. But at the same time, over the years, entertainment customers have been subsidizing all the sports programming. And it just isn't fair to consumers. And I'm very happy that finally this has come to light. And we were the ones that had to bring this up because we're, again, at the forefront of this. And we've been attempting to really disrupt the pay TV ecosystem now for 9 years. This is a very important move. But as I said, there's, I would say, deeper issues here that have really impacted consumer control, have negatively impacted consumer discretionary income. The costs of these things have been rising for decades, and it simply isn't fair. And I think it's time that we shine a light on it as distributors and consumers.
So, getting back to Venu a little here. So they announced in February. Were you hearing rumblings about this beforehand? You guys, I think, filed your lawsuit within maybe 10, 14 days after they announced their plans.
Yes, we heard about it just like everyone else. And I think we were equally surprised. If I'm not mistaken, the leagues were also surprised. I think the NFL came out
But
saying
that's
they
right.
weren't
Yeah,
aware.
they said they were caught unaware. That's right.
Yeah, again, in my view, my subjective view, I don't think it was an honest way of drip feeding information out to the market. All of this obviously was very much planned. All three CEOs came out to market during earnings season to announce this. And again, I think it's disingenuous to really talk about a product that's going to be good for consumers when we all know without any competition in the marketplace, prices ultimately go up. There's no reason why consumers shouldn't believe that this would just be a very short-term proposition. After that, they will not be incentivized to keep prices down or improve their product.
So this again, it's been sidelined for now. I think they're mounting another appeal to maybe to get another hearing to get Venue launched. But more importantly, like you've just been talking about, David, this is fundamentally at consumer choice, anti-competitiveness, pricing, all of those things. The main trial is set for next year sometime. Or is there a date in
Yes,
mind?
I believe it's October 6th, but if not October 6th, I believe it's the first week
Okay.
or early days of October. So I think we're waiting for the appellate court to rule. I think that's going to happen before the end of the year. And depending on the result of that, I think we'll begin to focus on the trial. So it's not an easy thing, but we're fighting for choice. And again, our goal is to make sure that the judge sees our points and our case will be heard.
As you said, the judge initially thought the merits on your side. So you think you guys will prevail in this?
I hope we prevail, but
Right.
as I read the decision that she put forth, a 70-page document, she basically says the only reason she granted the preliminary injunction is because she felt we would be successful in the merits. Otherwise, if she felt we wouldn't have been successful in the merits, I don't think she would have issued that. That gives me comfort is that we're in a decent position. Obviously, things can change. We still have to go through a significant period of discovery. Both sides do, the defendants and the plaintiff. And we'll be looking forward to putting our case in front of the judge again.
All right. Let's shift gears a little bit toward the local side. Obviously, the regional sports network business it's being challenged in many different ways. Fubo, David, along with I think DirecTV, are the only distributors that actually are committed to carrying the RSNs or most of the RSNs. So many different things have happened. The
Yes.
Suns, the Jazz, the Utah Hockey Club, Panthers, Pelicans, Dallas, Trailblazers, all others have inked deals of various kinds with broadcast networks and or broadcast station owners and or with streaming companies. How do you guys make that work? There are just so many. How do you guys stand that way in terms of distributing all of the newcomers or the new kinds of businesses as they are?
Yeah. One is you have to stay abreast of everything going on daily. You can't look at this stuff weekly because, as you said, there's so many changes going on and teams taking their rights back and attempting to either grow their audience or grow their revenue or both. And so we believe, if I'm not mistaken, we carry over 35 regional sports networks today, plus direct deals. I think one of the first deals, if I'm not mistaken, was the San Diego Padres that were dropped. I think that was the first team that was dropped by Bally's. And quickly we were able to work with Major League Baseball to get that. I don't want to call it an RSN, but that team's games up and running in San Diego without missing a game. We're very focused on ensuring that we continue to provide our consumers with all the programming that they're looking for. Obviously, local sports is very important. Some of the most avid fans are local sports fans, and that makes sense because they want to get their 80 plus games that they can watch on their local station. I say station because as some of these deals have gone over to local
Yes,
broadcasts, I'll
absolutely.
say they're either regional sports network, local station, or some kind of direct to consumer service. But I think what we've learned and what we know being in the business for 10 years, that this is not an easy thing to do to run a direct to consumer service in a small DMA. The economics are extremely challenged. And so we're going to do our best to continue to work with these teams and offer them opportunities to drive revenue and viewership.
Again, in the sense that you mentioned, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies are also, for lack of better terms, under Major League Baseball's purview and working with the local distributors. And I guess with you guys coming out of the Diamond bankruptcy last week, I guess Diamond is looking to drop all of its baseball relationships minus the Braves. Are you guys in a position to do that? Can you cover all those teams? Do you want to cover all those teams? Your relationship with baseball, because obviously when you get into the local programming, that's the most inventory of all the games.
Yeah, look, of course, we want to carry all the teams. Again, our job is to aggregate as much programming as we can. We're also a leading partner, I would say, with Major League Baseball in terms of coverage. We have local team networks. We deliver Major League Baseball Network, MLBN. We deliver Strike Zone, MLB TV, and obviously baseball through all the national nets like ESPN and Fox. We've been a longtime partner of the league. We'd like to continue to be that partner. And every time there's some kind of issue or they need assistance immediately, I think we're very quick to react to, in the Padres case, to be a good partner for them. So we enjoy working with baseball and we're very happy about the coverage and the improvements in some of the league rules, which have led to improving viewership numbers, better engagement. So we're excited to continue partnering with MLB.
In a way of wrapping up here, David, I've been covering this for many moons. You're obviously in the middle of it. The sports landscape is ever evolving, changing, exciting. What's an overall assessment of where things stand?
Yeah, look, I think that it's very quickly evolving. I think that the media companies over the last, 15 years have, I would say, had a negative impact on the industry. It's not that people don't like cable or they don't like one bill and having all of their programming in one place. Given everything that's been happening, it's become very difficult to monetize programming. And as you know, pay TV ecosystem has been extremely profitable business for all participants, for the distributors, for all the network groups, for the sports leagues,
Right.
for decades. And the consumer basically enjoyed it. If they wanted to watch a sporting event and they turned on Fox and it wasn't there, they would switch it to ESPN without any frustration. Now you're dealing with a lot of fragmentation. And because of that fragmentation, even with college football this year, I think people probably have not watched as much college football early on, only because they're still confused as to what games are where, in which leagues. I think that has had some impact on viewership, at least in the first month. But all in, I would say that you're going to see a lot of this evolution going forward. But my belief is, and I said this back in 2020, that we're going from bundling to unbundling to rebundling. I think I've been saying that
Okay.
for many years,
Right.
since 2020. My sense is the best user experience is going to be one where people can get niche sports, the top premiums or broadcast sports, everything in one place, because it's just easier. You have better personalization, better use of targeting, better use of artificial intelligence, everything to really improve that user experience. My bet is that ultimately we'll be in a place where distribution still remains a core way of getting content to consumers.
All right. That concludes this episode of Media Talk. I wanted to thank our guest, David Gandler, for bringing us up to speed on Fubo's progress and the battle to secure a more competitive landscape for distributors and more choices for consumers. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you so much.
This is Mike Reynolds, and thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch up soon on the next edition of Media Talk.